If I told you tap water is making you more feminine, would you believe me?
Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
If I said to you that drinking water from your tap is literally turning you into a woman, would you believe me? You see, particularly us here living in the West, the water that is available to us on tap is not what you think it is. It's not as clean and pure as you'd like to believe that it is. The water that we have available to us on tap is known or defined as by the very politically correct term of reclaimed water, which I find to be an astonishing spin on what it really is. An astonishing feat of marketing genius. Reclaimed. It almost sounds like the water's been saved, bruv. Saved from what? Reclaimed. We reclaimed the water from who? Reclaimed water is recycled water. Recycled water is bullshit water. That's what it is. Reclaimed water, because there's not enough rainfall that falls in most countries, but particularly where we're living in the West, as is the majority of my audience, and probably where you live right now, there's not enough rainfall to provide, or fresh water that falls from the sky, to be able to, feed, to be able to water the inhabitants of the surrounding villages, towns, and cities. So what do we do then? How do we solve this problem? Well, we have to take the water that we already have, excluding the water that falls from the sky, i.e. the water that we urinate out, and we have to find a way to repurify this water so that we can reconsume it. Okay, well, that's not necessarily a problem in and of itself. I mean, it's actually quite a smart solution. You know, if we don't have enough water falling from the sky, then what else are we going to do? Okay, well, here's the problem. And this especially applies to you if you live in heavily built up cities. As it is, if you live in heavily built up cities, you really shouldn't be drinking that tap water anyway. Like, for example, I've got a friend who lives in London. When I was living in London, he said to me, bro, we don't drink tap water here, bro. It's so hard. Like, at the best case scenario, you're going to get kidney stones. Best case scenario. You're going to get kidney stones because the water is so hard. Hard water. But there's something more sinister going on than just worrying about kidney stones, would you believe it? Which is an excruciating experience if you've ever been through it or known someone who's been through it. And that is that in heavily built up, congested cities where zina is rampant, zina being fornication or adultery, these cities have an accumulation of women taking birth control. Birth control, specifically hormonal birth control. And this hormonal birth control that they are taking, you would think,
well, you know, they're harming themselves. What's the problem? As long as it doesn't affect me, it's just affecting them. What's the problem? I'm not getting involved with these people.
You would be sadly and sorely mistaken. Because these women who are taking birth control are, like me and you, going to the bathroom and urinating and defecating. And then what do you think happens to their urine and defecation and the water that is inside it? Well, we've already established that the water is reclaimed. MashaAllah. We saved the water. We reclaimed the water. The water is essentially recycled, purified and cleaned using a very elaborate chemical process as it is. And then that water we reconsume. But here's the real problem. Here's the real kicker. The process of purifying the water is inadequate at extracting the hormonal birth control that is inside it. And then you come along and I come along and we turn the tap on and we drink the water. And we slowly but surely feminize ourselves over a period of years. No wonder fertility rates have dropped in the past 50 years by 50%. We are half as fertile as the baby boomer generation, which is most of our parents. If you're a bit younger than me, in your 20s, perhaps your parents are Gen X. My parents are the baby boomers, born after World War II up until 1960 something. We are half as fertile as them. Why? What happened? And this, I always just think to myself, bruv, how is it, you can be healthy, you can eat well, you can exercise regularly, you're in shape, you're not fat, and 1 in 3 people are getting cancer, soon to be 1 in 2. How? Fit, healthy, solid individuals are contracting cancer. They don't smoke, they don't have a bad diet, they exercise regularly. How's my man contracting cancer? Because of all the khara, all of the crap that is in our food and drink. That's how. So you're turning the tap on and you're drinking female hormonal birth control. You as a man are drinking female hormonal birth control, and the process of effeminization begins. And that's just one way with which our masculinity quite literally is being attacked. And if you've got the temerity to want to find out more about this type of stuff, then reading the following book is not an option for you. It's a must. Estrogeneration. I'll put it in the links. I'll put all of this links in the description. You need to buy that book. You can listen to it on Audible. You might even be able to find it on YouTube for free for that matter. But buy it on Audible if you can't. Buy the hardback even better if you can. And read the damn book. Point number 1. Recycled water, reclaimed water, tap water. Stop it. Especially if you live in built-up cities. Now, I live in a town, not too far from London for that matter, and it's not that much better. I will drink tap water every now and again, usually boiled tap water. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get rid of any hormonal elements that might be in there. It doesn't mean that at all. But for a tea or a coffee, I'll have it. It's quite difficult to completely eliminate tap water from your diet if this is something that you are accustomed to. But for the most part, I'm drinking bottled water. Sparkling water specifically. I like sparkling water. But bottled water nonetheless. Your health depends on it. Your fertility depends on it. Your future children depends on it. The perpetuation of your genetics depend on it. This is not optional. Number 2, deodorant and antiperspirant. You would think that these products that we spray on our bodies are harmless. They're good for us. They stop us from sweating. That's a terrible thing. Your body sweats for a reason. It sweats to excrete toxins from the body. What do you think you're doing to your body when you quite literally block the body from excreting harmful toxins? Where do you think those toxins go? Into the bloodstream. And if that wasn't worse, if that wasn't bad enough, these same deodorants and more specifically antiperspirants contain usually as the primary element that prevents you or mitigates your sweating, aluminium, metal. An actual metal is used, aluminium, to block up your pores and stop you from sweating. And do you know what aluminium has been shown to be responsible for? It's been shown to be responsible for contracting or eventually becoming into a state of dementia or contracting Alzheimer's disease, amongst many other things. And don't get me started on the phthalates and parabens that are found present inside of these products. All fragrance products, to be honest with you. The vast majority of fragrance products in general, including your washing detergent, contain phthalates and parabens, which are extremely harmful for you. And if you want to find out more about these products, some of them are even responsible for cancer. Styrene is a product or a chemical that is frequently used in fragranced products, which has been shown to cause liver, stomach, and lung cancer in animals. Repeatedly. And most of these chemicals are just flying under the radar because the rules are pretty loose. If you're a company that creates a deodorant or a fragrance product, someone has to categorically prove that your product is harmful. It's not enough to simply, you can create a product, and unless someone has categoric evidence that your product that creates a harm of some sort, then your product will fly. The rules are extremely loose in this regard, and all the more so in America. Everything you have heard me talk about just now is compounded many times more in America. If you're living in America, Allah Sa'adik, it's much worse over there. There are certain chemicals, food colorings, amongst other things, that are banned in Europe. They're not allowed to be used. Which over there in America, capitalist country of the world, not a problem. You can use them. Not a problem at all. It's no wonder that so many men are suffering from low testosterone. I was watching, what's his name? I think his name is How to Beast. He's got quite a big channel, 1.2 million followers. And he's a fitness guy. And his channel is a fitness channel, although he's altered his direction recently and he's created more content like this. But his bread and butter is fitness, and he's in good shape. And I found out that my guy is in his 20s. He's in good physical shape. And he's on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. Why? Why is he on TRT? Because his blood test revealed that his testosterone levels are below average. And when we say below average, I need you to bear in mind something. Because fertility rates have dropped steadily over the past 50 years or so, by 50%, the averages, the testosterone averages, have been continually decreased. The bar keeps moving downwards, in a downwards direction. Why? Well, because the logic goes, if everyone's testosterone has decreased, then this is no longer abnormal. This is the new normal, which is an absolute logical fallacy. Just because everyone's mad doesn't mean that it's okay to be mad. Just because everyone's sick doesn't mean that that's normal to be sick. That's what's going on. Everyone's sick. So you know what? If everyone's sick, then no one's sick.
Mashallah, brother.
We're all fine. No, we're all sick. We're all sick. And even then, despite these lowered averages, his testosterone levels were below that. Healthy young man. In the flower of his prime. The fountain of his youth. Wait. No, I think it's the flower of his prime.
Oops.
20s. Fit, healthy, six-pack, in shape. Low testosterone. You think it's just him? And I think he lives in one of the sunshine states in America as well. I'm not too sure which one exactly. But it's always sunny in his video, so I'm assuming he does. Those states are some of the worst, particularly with regards to reclaimed water and certain extremely harmful chemicals that are typically found in weed killers, which are commonly used in America over there. And many of those ingredients are completely banned in Europe. Joe Rogan put a post up on his page just recently that 80% of all urine samples tested, American urine samples that were tested in this study, 80% of them contained cancer-causing elements or traits in their urine. 80%. 80%. Why? Because of all the crap that we're ingesting. And one of those is fragrance products in general, your shampoos, your conditioners, your shower gels, and more specifically, your deodorants, and absolutely your antiperspirants. There are natural equivalents. I will not be giving any shout outs to any products or any companies on this video right now. Go online and you can have a look for yourself and you'll find them. I have a nice natural equivalent that I use myself. It's got no smell whatsoever. I feel like it's less effective than the antiperspirant ones that contain aluminium and these metals inside them. But so be it, bruv. I don't care. I ain't playing with my health like that. So be it. And as much as I can, I just try to avoid using them as well, by the way. Because I train twice a day. So if I'm training in the morning, I just won't put any antiperspirant on. I'll just put it on in the evening after I'm done. So I try and avoid them, period, full stop, as much as I can. But whenever I want to use it, maybe I'm going to go out for the day, fine, I'll stick it on, it's not a problem. Throw it on. It's a natural one anyway. And even then, I'm a bit suspect towards it, but that's how I treat it. And that's how I recommend you to treat it as well, with caution. And the final thing I will give to you, whereby you can increase your testosterone levels naturally, without having to take anything. Because so far, I haven't actually told you to take anything. All I've told you is to remove stuff. Remove stuff. Take things away. Take things away from your diet. You'll increase your testosterone. Stop drinking tap water. You'll increase your testosterone. Cut out these deodorants and antiperspirants that you're currently using that contain aluminium and amongst other things, phthalates and parabens. You'll increase your testosterone. And finally, the final thing that I want you to do is to, as best as possible, eat single ingredient foods. And that doesn't mean sugar, rude boy. I'm not telling you to eat sugar because it's a single ingredient, and we're going to get to sugar in a second. But single ingredient foods, your porridge, your potatoes, your rice, although some of you might not even like rice. Some of the research that I've seen on rice is a bit fishy, bruv. But let's just say it's okay. Your rice, your chickens, your meats, organic as best as possible as well. Grass-fed specifically. Single ingredient foods. One ingredient in the whole food. There's only one ingredient in an apple, bruv. Do you know what it's called? Apple.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
There's only one ingredient in a potato. It's called potato. You get my drift. Single ingredient foods. And talking of sugar, in one study of 74 men, who consumed 75 grams of sugar, in less than 1 hour after the consumption of this 75 grams of sugar, which is the equivalent of 2 Coca-Cola cans, maybe even slightly less, or maybe a little bit more, there or thereabouts, 2 Coca-Cola cans. In less than an hour, their serum testosterone level decreased by 25%, 1/4, in less than an hour. And that suppression continued for over 2 hours. So let me ask you a question, bro. If you're continually eating sugar around the clock every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and all your snacks in between, what does that mean for you, bruv? Think about it. You're continually consuming sugar, which means you are continually suppressing your testosterone levels. And then you wonder why you're in your 20s and you've got erectile dysfunction. And by the way, erectile dysfunction could be a myriad number of reasons as to why you've got that. So many different reasons, and usually it's an accumulation of many. Maybe you've got a masturbation addiction. Maybe you've got a porn addiction. Maybe you're unhealthy. Maybe you're overweight. Maybe you're fat. Your arteries are slightly blocked. Cholesterol and so on. Many, many reasons that could contribute towards it, but this is certainly one of them. Having low testosterone doesn't give doesn't make your member harder, bruv. It's not making it harder. It's making it softer, which is a bit embarrassing. It's not a laughing matter, to be honest with you. And finally, I will say this. I started No Strings Nikah to help a very specific demographic of women, 35 to 49, married a number of times in the past, usually have children, to get married, but in halal, of course, to a brother, but to not have him around full time because they don't want that. That was the initial premise of the app that we're building right now. But it is so much more comprehensive than that. We're going to be delving into health, fitness, conditioning, supplementation. What type of natural supplements can you take to increase your testosterone levels? What avenues can I look at and explore before I have to take on the last resort, which is testosterone replacement therapy, which we will also be integrating as well. I have a number of clinics that I'm in talks with right now, as we speak, who will be aiding this process for individuals who have explored all their options and their test levels are still low and they want to increase their testosterone levels. It's so much more comprehensive than just simply helping brothers and sisters get married in halal, which is an important element, but it's so much more comprehensive than that. The app will be launching soon. But if you haven't already subscribed to the Telegram group, then I suggest you do so now, because when we release the app, it will only be available to 50 to 100 people max initially as we beta test it and start refining the app. Already we have almost 1,400 members on the Telegram group. So hit the Telegram group link in the description. It will be the top link in the description, and it will be the top link in the comment, the pinned comment that you see in the comments of this video right now. Subscribe to the group and keep your eyes on it, because we are going to be covering everything from what type of foods to eliminate from your diet to maximize your testosterone levels, what type of supplements you can take, getting your body into the shape of your life. How can I look like this? You want to be able to look like that? That's what I look like right now. With no supplements. And by supplements, I mean I'm referring specifically to PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, and no TRT. How? Subscribe to the group and you'll find out there.